All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. May the Lord bless you, all my brothers and sisters around the world. Don't matter who you are, what color you are, where you're located at, male, female. It don't matter. You my brother, you my sister, and I thank everybody that's been lifting me up in these videos, encouraging me. Man, it means so much. It means so much, y'all, that we can learn from each other. Even though some of y'all are not doing videos, your comments alone is just awesome. Give me a lot to think about and to go back and study. So now we want to talk about sun worship. And let me give a shout out to my sister, Real Miss J. You and a couple of others. I believe y'all the ones that was, asking me about sun worship. And since we've been talking about all these idols and demons and doctrines of devils and you name it, the Nephilims, the giants. So I prayed about it, and especially talking to my big brother K-Ray today. We had Bible study on the phone probably for about 3 hours. And I think that this stuff needs to be said. So let's have a little real talk video here in the name of the Lord. And y'all, we'll probably come back and do a part 2 about this. Now, sun worship. Nothing new. Nowadays, what we see, it's nothing new. You still got sun worship going on right now. Now, the Egyptian people honored Ra, R-A, the sun god. Now, y'all know me. I worship the S-O-N, not the S-U-N. I love to worship the S-O-N. I love to worship the Most High. That's why when people say, well, don't say God, JT, because which God are you talking about? I understand what they mean. That's why a lot of times you hear me say Most High. You hear me say Yahweh, Elohim sometimes, I know what the Lord's names is. And he told Moses just simply call me, I am the I am, But I do understand that, and that's why a lot of times when people say God, they'll say don't say God now. Once again, understand that because you got sun gods. You got all kind of gods that was out back then. And you got all kind of gods right now. But there is only one. Like Paul said, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. The Most High. There is nobody that's over the Most High. So we got a lot of gods out here. So I wanted to say that off the top. See, for many people in Egypt, the sun was a source of life. The power, the energy. You keep warm with it. Then when you think about the crops, you need the sunlight to fall on the crops. So you need the sun for so much. Even right now, we see how important the sun is. And just like it's so cold down here right now, man, and people are praying for just a little sunlight because we dealing with 19 degrees, 18 degrees, and then it may be 70 degrees the next day. So we see how the sun operates. But the problem was, back then, they got too attached to the sun. They started worshiping the sun. They did. We know some people will worship anything, y'all. And let's say this. Every religion has something to worship. Sun worship tied in with pagans, Wiccans, and what they do, they honor the sun at midsummer. They do. Egyptian worship dealt a lot with this. They dealt a lot with this, y'all. Now, I have to tie this in with Constantine. I don't know about a lot of y'all, but if you have ever studied on Constantine, look at what Constantine was changing up. And anytime man, get their hand on something, we know it's going to be messed up. Through Constantine, paganism and Christianity joined hands in the Roman Empire, y'all. See, Constantine, he was a sun worshiper. Now, some people say he was converted over to Christianity. Some say that never happened. It's each to their own what you believe. But I know one thing from studying, he was a pagan. He was a pagan. Ancient Babylonian sun worship is still around. See, the thing is, let's go to the main problem here, Satan. Satan saw the power of the gospel as it entered into people's heart. It was changing people's lives. Satan didn't like that. Well, first of all, Satan still wants to worship. He ain't never stopped wanting to worship. He hates the fact that we serve the Most High. And he saw how the word was changing up folk. So we know what Satan do, what he do best. Twist up scriptures, don't he? So he started mixing a little bit of truth with a whole bunch of lies. So he mixed sun worship into Christianity. That's why you have this big debate going on also about, man, when you serve church on what, Sunday? What's really the Sabbath? Man, I don't go to church on Sunday. Then some people say, I don't go to church on Sunday. I don't know what the Sabbath is. You got a great debate about the Sabbath. Because in the 4th commandment, it states that the 7th day is the Sabbath. If we look at a calendar, we see that what? The 7th day is what? Is it Saturday or Sunday? Now, remind you this old jacked up calendar that we got. Y'all see what I'm saying? Remember the video we did talking about this man-made calendar? And I said you got to be crazy if you think the Lord is operating on our time on this calendar here that they give you. See, the Hebrew people didn't call it Saturday. Because you know why they didn't call it Saturday? That's the name of another pagan god, Saturday. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about from studying. So it was called a 7th day. But I don't get into all these debates about, oh man, you sinning because you going to church on Sunday. Well, I don't believe it's Sunday. I believe it's Saturday. I'm not trying to win arguments and all that. I'm trying to win souls for the Lord. I serve the Lord every chance he waking me up. Sunday ain't promised to me, nor Saturday is promised to me. But I'm a man that have got my own understanding, you know. I'm not caught up in what everybody else is talking about and what everybody else is doing. I know what I got to do and what works for me just as well as you do, you know. But I want to bring that point up because here's the thing. The Sabbath day was changed to Sunday because of true followers that was keeping the 7-day commandment, 7-day Sabbath. A lot of them was being killed. When you do the studying, they was being killed and time just kept passing by. And what happened as time passed by, the day of rest got changed. Y'all with me? And when you look at sun worship, it's always you got to have 3 gods, pretty much. You got the father, the mother, and the child in this case. And what happens with that child is that that child becomes the reincarnation of the father. That's why you see things the way they are with this sun worship. Now, Brother Dave, I think that was you. You talked about sunrise service. Glad you brought that up in your email. Most Baptist churches I know have a sunrise service. Not all of them, but most of them I know have a sunrise service. And I never understood growing up, you know, why we went to that. You know, I'm just saying it because when you're young, you got a lot of questions. I never understood the Easter egg hunts. I never understood sunrise service. I didn't understand a lot of things, and they wouldn't even tell us, oh, you just need to go, you just need to go. But as I got older, as I started studying, I was like, man, pretty much everything I was involved in didn't have nothing to do with the Lord. It had something to do with other gods. And I'm so glad now that I know the truth. Now, sunrise service is a worship service on Easter. Some people may have it outside, you know, in parks. I don't know about where y'all located, but Down here, it might start at 6:30 a.m. in the morning or 6 o'clock for most people. And you know, if you're dealing with a black church, it probably ain't gonna start at 7 o'clock. We ain't never on time for nothing hardly. Y'all know I'm keeping it real. And when I thought about sunrise service, when you said that, I got tired of it as a child. Got tired of getting up early for nothing, look like. And when I started looking at scripture, and then you ought to see this book I got in the room back there. It's called Holidays versus Holy Days. It's a real powerful book. Stuff I wish I would have known growing up, you know. And when you look at Easter, because we tying all this in together, because all of it is pagan. It is. Church can say, man, even though they don't want to. Easter, the early church didn't serve no Easter. The early church celebrated Passover. Nowadays, it's Easter. Oh, let's get the eggs. I need this family to bring that many dozens of eggs. Bring all the eggs you can to the church. We're going to have an Easter egg hunt. We need to color some eggs. You know what's sad about this whole situation? Rabbits don't even lay eggs. In a long time, I didn't even know that, because when I was little, I ain't caring about studying about no animals. Rabbits don't even lay eggs. Rabbits have hair, and rabbits are mammals. They give live births, and they give their babies milk, so a rabbit is a mammal. Somebody done got mixed up with the chicken and the rabbit for some reason. You know, female chickens have eggs. They can have different color eggs. That's why sometimes you see a brown egg. But rabbits don't even lay eggs. You see the lies, and our poor children, they ain't gonna hardly ever learn the truth, because the grown-ups don't even want to learn the truth. I've been done with that stuff, man, long time ago when I started learning better. So I'm just messing with y'all a little bit. Let me get back to the talking about the sun worship, because it all ties in together, because most Christians don't understand the danger. They don't even understand what they're doing half of the time. And when you tell a Christian, you know, you ain't like no, I ain't gonna say it like that. Let me go back to the early Christians. See, the thing is, they were called Christians in Antioch. Nobody told them to call themselves Christians. They were called Christians. In some kind of way, nowadays, people have forgotten that. That's why a Christian nowadays is a homosexual, a lesbian, a liar, a cheater, a drunk. A Christian now is everything. And I mean this out of love, y'all. Versus the early church Christians. You don't have a whole lot of them no more. You got a lot of fake stuff nowadays. I ain't saying everybody calling themselves Christian is fake. No, it's some people out there who call themselves Christians who are living this word. We thank the Lord for you. But I'm trying to show you something about the early Christians. They truly followed the Lord. They tried their best to stick to the commandments the best way they could. It was true repentance going on. It was church going from home to home. It wasn't stuck on no building. It was going from house to house having service. Because Jesus said when 2 or 3 are gathered, he's in the midst. And we forget that. We always think we got to be in the building to have church. Well, the church is within me. We are in the body of Christ. And so many of us, you know, we look past that. And we think we got so much, you know, input on the building now. The building, you know. So, I want to make that point also. Now, looking back at Easter. When you say Easter is the resurrection, y'all catch this. Because I'm going to show you how messed up Easter is. Some of y'all already know about this. Y'all know where I'm going. If Easter was the resurrection, that so-called day, How do you move something so important? What do you mean, JT? You ever notice how Easter comes on a different day each year? How you gonna move a resurrection date if that was the case? Y'all see what I'm saying? That go to show you why Easter is just fake. If you ever studied on what went down in these paganism things, how I could take your wife, sleep with your wife, you could sleep with my wife. It was all about sex. Let me go get your daughter. I'm gonna mess with your daughter. This was the wicked stuff that was tied in with Easter, Estar. That's why, once again, the early church, early Christians didn't celebrate no such thing as Easter. They celebrated the Passover, and we all know what the Passover is. So I'm answering that question also. I don't care about people getting mad at the truth, man. It should help you, because I know, when it come around, oh man, let's go get the eggs. And, I had to do it when I was little. That's why I don't knock people what they do, man. But I hate when people ask me to tell them the truth, and then when I tell them the truth about holidays, they can't. Oh, they mad at me. Don't ask me then. I'm not condemning you. I'm just answering your question. So back to let me get back on track about the sun worship. Matter of fact, the Most High shows us this in Ezekiel chapter 8. When you move down, almost going toward the end of chapter 8 of Ezekiel, I believe, talks about sun worship. Because I want to say it was 25, maybe 24. I should have had that scripture up. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to say 25. I'm going to go back and check myself on that. But it was about 25 men facing toward the east. And what it was, they had their backs to the Lord's temple. They was bowing down to the sun in the east. That's what they was doing. And the Lord had a problem with that. So when you see people worshiping the sun, and they not worshiping the S-O-N, they worshiping the S-U-N, it's a problem with that. It's a big problem with that. And even when you look at nowadays with this sun worship, if you study, and you look at some of these little secret organizations, like, say something like Freemasons and other little organizations, they still use these images to, you know what they do with these images? They mark government places. This is why I try to tell people to understand the true temple is right here in our heart. See, my worship don't have nothing to do with the building. It really don't. Worship has to be in spirit and in truth. That's why I'm not stuck on the building. I go to a building. I don't have to go to a building. I can go to the building. I don't have to go to the building because Christ is in me. It's in my spirit. And that's why I say you must worship in spirit and in truth. Even when you go back to the Old Testament and go back to the book of Deuteronomy, what is that? Deuteronomy 4:19, it was talking about when you look up to the sky and see the sun, the moon, the stars, the heavenly array, don't bow down to that. That's what he told Israel. Jeremiah talked about it. 2 Kings talked about it. It's all over the Bible. So with that being said, I might come back and do a part 2, y'all. So y'all have a wonderful, blessed day, and the Lord say the same. See you on the next one. Y'all take care. Peace.